The cameras flashed. The crowd froze at the Intuit Dome.
Hmm.
And just like that, Hollywood had a brand new obsession. You thought you knew how this story would end, right? Well, welcome to Starscope Report.
Yeah, exactly. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and, viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is, well, it's wild. We are unpacking that massive May 16th, 2026 Netflix MVP MMA event. Specifically, we are looking at that headline-stealing twist where Mike Perry just, completely stunned fans by TKOing MMA legend Nate
It
Diaz.
was unbelievable. I mean, it felt
Yeah.
like a gritty movie reboot. You've got the new anti-hero, which is Perry, just violently overthrowing the legacy action star in Diaz.
Right, the stakes were absolutely insane here. You have Diaz, who is 41, stepping back into MMA for the first time since, I think, 2022, since he fought Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, 2022. He's mostly been resting or taking standard boxing exhibitions since then. But then on the flip side, you've got Perry.
Exactly. And Perry had been away from MMA for 5 years himself. But he wasn't idle. I mean, he was riding this incredible high as bare-knuckle boxing's self-proclaimed king of violence.
That difference in preparation dictated exactly how this fight played out. Watching Diaz try to use his traditional volume-heavy boxing against Perry it was like watching a classic fencer try to fight a guy swinging a literal mace.
Oh man, a mace is the perfect way to describe it. But wait, if you're loving these Hollywood twists so far, make sure you're subscribed, because we've got even crazier stories ahead and you don't want to miss them.
You really don't, because the clash itself had these crazy cinematic shifts. Diaz actually had early success with a beautiful judo throw, and the Inglewood crowd went absolutely wild.
Right, I remember watching that. But Perry just escaped from underneath him almost instantly. How does a guy primarily known for striking just stand up on a high-level grappler like Diaz?
It comes down to explosive urgency, that bare-knuckle muscle memory. He simply refused to accept a grappling match, exploded up, and forced the fight back into a close-quarters clinch.
And that's where the real damage started happening, right?
Yeah, exactly. He used that trapped space to just land short, slicing elbows. Without the bulky MMA gloves getting in the way, he was threading those elbows right through Diaz's guard.
Which set up round two perfectly. Perry starts throwing these massive knees, and he drops Diaz twice. And that's not even the wildest part.
No, it really gets crazier. The legendary cut man, Stitch Duran, steps in after round two. He takes one look at Diaz, who is heavily bleeding and literally can't even see, and the ref just waves it off.
It was such a shocking twist for the fans. But earlier, Perry actually did this eerie pre-fight TMZ interview. He explicitly promised to, quote, paint the Kansas pink.
Yeah, and it wasn't just promotional trash talk either. He actually spent 5 years mastering that exact dirty boxing range where Diaz is historically vulnerable. It was a completely calculated strategy.
Okay, but I have to challenge that a little bit here. Every fighter makes those violent promises before stepping into the cage, right? Can we really call that a calculated tactical blueprint? Or did he just get lucky catching a slower 41-year-old Diaz with a stray elbow?
I mean, that's a fair question, but the fight footage really backs up this strategy. Perry wasn't just throwing wild haymakers hoping to land lucky shots.
But you're saying it was actually surgical?
Completely surgical. He systematically closed the duckins and targeted the scar tissue around Diaz's eyes with short-range strikes. He knew a doctor's stoppage was his clearest path to victory against a guy who famously never gets knocked out cold.
Wow, that is intense. So he forces the stoppage, bumps his MMA record to 15-8, and immediately hijacks the microphone. He uses this massive Netflix broadcast to call out Conor McGregor, and then pivots to challenge Jake Paul to avenge his 2024 boxing loss.
It's brilliant marketing. He recognized that millions of people were watching live on a streaming platform, and he instantly pitched the next cinematic storylines.
But wait, doesn't this brutal defeat completely kill Diaz's relevance? And specifically, killing that dream of a Conor McGregor rubber match that fans have wanted for a decade.
It certainly damages the marketability of a third Diaz-McGregor fight, yeah. But Perry's post-fight pivot highlights a massive shift in the business of modern spectacle. He bypassed traditional rankings entirely.
Which really brings it back to you listening right now. Look at your own Netflix queue. We are seeing a major shift in how sports operate on these giant tech platforms.
Right. It's a fundamental restructuring of sports entertainment. The traditional ladder to a championship is being replaced by whoever can generate the most viral, visceral spectacle in real time.
Exactly. And stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next in this space. Because it really makes you wonder, is the era of traditional sports rankings just dead?
It really might be. Replaced entirely by algorithm-friendly grudge matches where the storyline matters way more than the actual athletics.
It's such a crazy thought. If the loudest, most violent anti-hero gets the next blockbuster streaming spot, who gets left behind in the pursuit of the ultimate algorithmic bloodbath? Something to think about until our next deep dive.
For sure.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.